Hello, hi, this is Gertrude Mache here in sunny Santa Monica. And yes, I'm not in New Zealand today. I'm enjoying the sun with two social entrepreneurs, a brother and sister team, Roberta Wilson and her brother, Jeff Cos.
Hi.
How are you guys? I am so excited. As you know, I'm always trying to promote nonprofits and help them get their voice out. But today's case is a bit unique. Social entrepreneurs who are making a difference through their businesses. I know that the work you're doing is part of a legacy, your mother's legacy. Her name was Audrey.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your mom and how this all came to being?
My mom, Audrey, was one of those people who, once you met her, you instantly knew her and loved her. She was incredible at connecting with people on such a level and spreading her love and her magic to the world. She was a pharmacist by profession, but a baker by passion. And those two kind of go together because pharmacy has to be a very exact science, and thus so does baking. So she, while her days were spent doing good to the world in the world of medicine and pharmacy, her evenings were spent at the oven. Not a day went by that she wasn't baking. And the cookies were her way of spreading her love and her magic and connecting people on a way that was so deep and so authentic that people 10 years after her passing are still talking to me about the impact of her cookies on their worlds.
Fantastic. And Jeff, what are your memories of your mom?
She was on the go. She was on the go from the minute she woke up in the morning till she crashed on the pillow. She was doing good in every way, from, like Roberta said, in the pharmacy and her baking, but she would be dropping off dinner. If the wife was in the hospital, she'd be taking care of the rest of the family. She would drop off prescriptions in the mailboxes on the way home. She just was nonstop doing good. And, looking back on it, she was kind of a miracle worker. The amount of stuff that she got accomplished in one day. And people remember her in terms of giving the cookies. She would meet you. She would have met you. And she would know who you are, know your story, ask you a bunch of questions, would know it. And she saw you, she would cookies. Mm-hmm. Gertrude, I know you were interested in my cookies, and here I wanted to bring some for you. And she'd know your name, you know everything. And it became kind of a legend.
Wow. Wow, it sounds like she was a very special lady.
We called her, I referred to her as an angel in the universe. Mm-hmm. She was living amongst us, but as an angel. We had her on borrowed time.
So her passion was around children, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your business and where you're making a difference for children.
Well, I call myself the accidental baker because I didn't spend 1 minute in the baking world until I started this company. And now she is channeling me the recipes from where she is. But it was always her dream to have a cookie company, but she wasn't a business person. She was a pharmacist. I was a business person. So when I decided after she passed to start this company, it was with a bit of trepidation since I was never a baker. But I decided to take that leap and do what was always her dream. But I knew that anything we would start that would have any business component to it would have to have a charitable component and would have to benefit Starlight Children's Foundation. That was her favorite charity. Our other brother, Dave, has been a global ambassador to them for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And what Starlight does is so inspirational. They help seriously ill children and their families through all kinds of associations with pediatric facilities all over the country. And the world. Mm-hmm. And they have programs that are information and education and entertainment, and it's all designed in the hospital and also outside the hospital. It's all designed to help make the lives of these chronically ill children who have to spend long periods of time in the hospital brighter and better informed.
Wow, that's making a big difference.
Yes, and it was my mom's favorite charity. Mm-hmm. So she was passionate about supporting them, And it was clear there was a charitable component. It was going to be to help the Starlight Kids.
All right, so let me ask you a question, Jeff. What changed your life when someone gave to you? Let's just talk about giving and why giving is so important here.
What changed my life when someone gave to me? Well, I can just think of music as the first thing that comes to mind. That both my mom and dad were very supportive of both my brother Dave and myself, and so the gift that they gave to me, that the first thing that comes to mind is to encourage us and to support us. And when came time that I was going to college, they wanted me to stay in college, and they wanted me to become, the doctor or the lawyer or the accountant,
as all parents do.
Right, but I think back on it too. And we talked about this, that how cool they were. My mom and my dad to support us. We had a band growing up. I mean, so the giving, is obviously life changing.
Yes.
We had a band, and my dad had converted to a sound, so we could have band rehearsals at my house. And I'm thinking to myself, that was pretty cool. Like, if my daughter came to me, or she had a band, would I, hire somebody, like park outside and change my? Maybe not. So they were very giving, and I think that sort of set the tone for our family and our generation.
I think that's a really important point too. That our parents were very charitable, and by watching them, it inspired us, and it becomes, I think, when you're someone who has received, and more importantly, when you're someone who has given, you understand how that makes you feel. And that becomes addicting, and it makes you want to do it more. And so at a very young level, it was important to me to expose my kids to that, so that they then want to go on. So I think it becomes part of you breathe, you eat, you sleep, you give back. And I think that's a taught behavior. And once you're exposed to it, either through being yourself or watching someone else, it's something that is very easy to become part of your life, and that it inspires you to continue.
Yeah, my grandmother used to say that when you give to someone else, you're giving to yourself.
Yeah.
It does give you a buzz.
A lift.
It does lift you up.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just switch here. What changed your life when you gave to someone else?
I think
one little story.
There's the thing that I think helped the most. When my kids were young, I had a group called the Big Help Group, and we would go into the community once a month and do with about 15 8-year-old girls, all the way through high school. We did it, and whether it was covering up graffiti or working with elderly people, playing bingo at a nursing home, or going to Children's Hospital and donating items, or going and having a play date at a park that was for disabled kids. Each one of these things was transformative in its own right. And more important than anything is to see the prayers of young people broken down and their fears going away by working with someone who's different. We did a lot with Special Olympics. So the fears of being exposed to someone who's ill, that's not contagious, or someone who's different from them, or homeless people. Exposure to all these different things, I think it broke the world down for all of us to realize how much we can brighten. Seeing one smile that wasn't there before, from an elderly person, a disabled child, a homeless person, whatever it was transformative. And
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So social entrepreneurship is a very new concept. Why is giving so important for the future of humanity, do you think?
Well, I think that this new way of thinking is creating a lot of, we were talking about sustainability earlier. So companies that are thinking only having a component of what they're doing that is donating money, is that they are teaching people how to sustain. People was an example of what Taylor was doing.
Doing it themselves. So what you're doing in Africa, for example, that you're not just giving a handout to people, but you're doing job training or whatever it is that teaches the person on the receiving end how to create a sustainable life for themselves without having to require handouts or monetary giving. I think to answer your question also, it's so interesting if you think about the youth of today. My daughter just graduated with a master's in social entrepreneurship, and I had the pleasure of going to one class, and it was the first night of class, and the professor asked the people in the room, who were all ages, she was the youngest at 22, and were all ages, and he asked them all what they want to do. And no matter what it was, whatever the, if it was in commerce or healthcare or PR or marketing or whatever, every single person that he asked when he went around the room wanted there to be a social impact component. And so I think it's a very important thing of this generation, of this time we're in, where there's so much need in the world. And I think from a consumer standpoint, it's the best thing in the world if more companies do this, because if you have a choice of walking down the aisle and you can buy this bottle of water that, a portion of its proceeds helps XYZ, or this bottle of water who doesn't, as a consumer, I'm always going to go for that one, if all else is equal.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
It helps grow the businesses organically because people feel really, really great about supporting the business. And it's also helping grow this sense of giving that people are contributing and helping the nonprofits, obviously grow and leverage the relationship. Like in our relationship with Starlight, both companies benefit from that relationship. In the media, in the social media, people are developing ways of, the channel going back and forth. We're communicating about Audrey's Cookies and getting involved in Starlight programs. Yes. And Starlight is, by the same token, and we're promoting them, and through our channels. And it really does brighten the faces of, Roberta does a product demo a day, literally
every day,
spreading the word.
Wow.
And it makes such an impact that there is this charitable component to it, and people really warm up. And Roberta calls her cookies guilt-free.
Okay.
Guilt-free.
I love that.
Maybe they're not calorie-free or gluten-free, but they're guilt-free.
Calories don't count, though. That's the thing. When you help sick kids, calories don't count.
They don't.
I'm waiting for the FDA to give me that exact language that I can put on packaging. So far, they're not on board, but I'm hoping they will be one day.
It will happen. Okay, so I know people are getting inspired by listening to you. How can people help? How can they get involved? Give us a few ideas.
Well, we are actively increasing our distribution for our cookies. So the best way for them to help is to go to their store and buy Audrey's Cookies. So far, we are in all the Whole Food stores in Southern California, Arizona, Nevada, and Hawaii. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll be launching in a big chunk of Vaughn's, Pavilions, and Albertsons stores here in Southern California. And they're always in the bakery section. Every time somebody buys a box of our cookies, we donate to Starlight Children's Foundation. So no matter what, they benefit. So that's how they can benefit. We're not selling online yet, but we will be one day soon. So that will be another way.
We'll be going to other states hopefully very soon as well.
Yeah, we're expanding our distribution rapidly.
Understood that not all of you will be able to run to Whole Foods and buy some of these cookies today.
But do go to Whole Foods and ask for the cookies.
Yes, that's
absolutely.
How you can help.
I think that's how you can help.
Man, cookies.
And then also, at a point in time, go online and look at starlight.org and see the good work that they do. And there's ways that you can donate to them directly as well.
Fantastic. Well, I thank you both for doing this interview with me today. It's an absolute honor to meet you.
Likewise.
And I think your mom would be really proud when she sees that she started a legacy and it is continuing after she's passed.
I think she'd be delighted to know that the idea of her cookies spreading love through the world is catching on, and more importantly, that we're actually doing some good to help sick kids get it.
And that the company is named Audrey's Cookies. I was thinking about that. I don't mean to prolong the interview, but company wasn't always called Audrey's.
It wasn't.
It was called Cookies for a Cause, which is our last name, and that is also cause related. And as Roberta really was developing this product for Whole Foods, it just occurred to us that the whole story was, there was a picture of our mom on the Cookies for a Cause, and why not put it all together and, you know, name the cookie Audrey's Cookies, and it truly is the legacy, and people really get it, people really understand the story. We were working with a marketing agency, and the first day that we walked in the room to kind of see what they've been up to present some stuff, we were in this giant conference room, and the entire wall were all these huge sheets of paper with all of these different sayings, like Audreyisms, things that she might have said. And I don't know about you, Roberta, but I was like, can you believe this? Like, if Mom could see this, that this entire room is like, people have been thinking of like Audreyisms to help market Audrey's Cookies. It's all been very surreal.
When I'm in a Whole Foods store and I'm after doing a demo or during a demo, and I'm walking down an aisle and I see someone pushing a basket and they have Audrey's Cookies in their basket, I stop them and I hug them. And I say, my mom is smiling right now.
So it's a living legacy. Some people wait until they're dead to make a difference. So if you are an entrepreneur, do something with your business.
Yes.
Do something and
be a living legacy.
And grow. Grow and succeed, and do everything you can to succeed and expand and make more money, because then that helps more people.
And don't be afraid.
Fantastic. Thank you. Is this Gertrude my chair?
Thank you, Gertrude. I'll give you a hug.
Yes.
All right.
A hug from Audrey.
Lovely meeting you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in again for more exciting news on how to give.